Hey everybody, Sean from Media Assault here, and I was looking for a movie to review as part of my giant ape month here on the Media Assault channel. And if you watch my Congo review, you'll see why I'm doing giant apes for the month of November, so I'll leave you to watch that video to find out why. But I was just looking through Netflix and I decided to stop on Congo, a 1995 adventure movie. And while it's not really a giant ape movie, it does have apes in it, and I figured, what the hell, I'll watch it, because I haven't seen it before. So that's what I did. And it's not the greatest movie in the world, but it's not the worst. So I figured I'd go ahead and do a review of it. Like I said, Congo came out in 1995. It stars Laura Linney, Ernie Hudson, Dylan Walsh, whose name I keep wanting to call him Dylan Thomas for some reason, Dylan Walsh, Tim Curry, and Joe Don Baker, who, if you're a Mystery Science Theater 3000 fan, you know him better as Mitchell. He's in this film, and he gives a performance worthy of Mitchell in this movie. He actually plays a man named Travis who runs this company called Travacom, and he sends an expedition to the Congo to find these diamonds, which apparently power some sort of laser contraption that either can be used as a communications device or it can be used as a laser gun. I'm not really sure how that works. But anyway, the expedition that he sends to the Congo, which is led by the immortal Bruce Campbell, is attacked by something. And as investigation into what happens to them bears out, it looks like they were attacked by some type of gorilla. Laura Linney plays a communication scientist type person who works for Travacom, and she's picked by Travis to go to the Congo to find out what happened to the expedition, and more importantly to him, get the diamonds for this device that he's making. Simultaneously, a scientist named Peter Elliott, who's played by Dylan Walsh, has taught a gorilla named Amy how to speak in sign language, and he's kind of shown her off and made a name for himself with this, but he's noticing that his gorilla seems to be homesick, so she's drawing pictures of the jungle and whatnot. So he decides it's time to take her back to where she came from, which coincidentally just happens to be where this expedition for these diamonds is headed. So through a really contrived method, Laura Linney's character and Peter Elliott, Dylan Walsh's character, find themselves kind of on the same plane with this Romanian guy played by Tim Curry, who he's supposedly funding this whole expedition to get Amy back to her homeland. So they get to the Congo, they get to Africa, and then there's the beginning of this film is basically how they have to fight to get into the interior of the jungle. And then the second half of the film is made up of what they find when they get there, which is possibly King Solomon's mine. They're attacked by a group of really aggressive gray gorillas. And one thing leads to another, to a rather rushed but fairly effective climax. This film, like I said, was made in 1995, and it's pretty obvious that since it's a Michael Crichton adaptation, there was some effort made to capitalize on the success of Jurassic Park, which came out 2 years before and was also based on a Michael Crichton novel. Around this same time, there had been a lot of Michael Crichton adaptations for the theater, and most of them had been successful. Disclosure is one that comes to mind. This one, however, probably isn't as successful as it could have been, I guess. I didn't read the book, but this just seems pretty hokey for a Michael Crichton adaptation. I have a hard time believing that the book was as hokey as the movie turned out to be. The producers on this particular film seem to have also not only tried to ape, no pun intended, Jurassic Park by not only adapting a Michael Crichton film, but also getting someone associated with Steven Spielberg to direct it. Now, it's not Spielberg who directs it, it's Frank Marshall, who was a producer on many of Spielberg's 80s films, like Raiders of the Lost Ark. Having that association with Spielberg, it didn't really rub off in the directorial department. What's here is a fairly mediocre action film, action-adventure movie, that really never rises above the rather poor script that it's based on. One thing that is really cool about this film are the gorillas. While they're obviously people in gorilla suits, they are pretty effective, and they're made by Stan Winston, who has done many different special effects for a number of different films. The Terminator immediately comes to mind. He's responsible for the design of the cyborg Terminator from the original Terminator film, and then the subsequent ones. Those are really effective. I thought they were done by Rick Baker looking at them, but they were Stan Winston. And from what I understand, Stan Winston and Rick Baker had sort of a competition on who could make the best gorilla suits at some point. So I may be wrong on that, but I remember reading that somewhere for some reason. But anyway, the special effects in the film are pretty good. There's a volcanic eruption in the movie, and the sets that actually are used to depict the eruption are excellent, and they're probably the highlight of the film. But really, while Congo's not a terrible movie, it's certainly not a great movie, and I'd have to give it a 5 out of 10. You're not wasting your time by watching it, but just don't expect it to be something, super fantastic. It's adequate for what it is, which is basically just an action-adventure film. Nothing more, nothing less. So check it out if you're in the mood for something fairly brainless. You could do a lot worse than Congo. I hope you liked the review. Thanks for watching. And as always, check out the rest of my reviews here on the Media Assault channel here on YouTube. And thanks again for watching.